Hello, and welcome to another video about repairing cameras and lenses. And this is actually my video number 500. So we will celebrate that. Hey. And it should be something special. So it will be working with Nikon F2. And I will take you, hopefully, take you through how to actually disassemble the camera and many other details. I think there will be more than one part, so maybe there will be 2 parts or 3 parts. I don't know yet. Let's see how it will go, and many other things. The reason I would like to make a video about this is you can see the the winder, the film lever is actually a bit, let's say in a different position. Not like you can wind the film that way, but it should be over from here over to here. But it's completely stuck. So what can I do about it? Well, as you can see, it's a Nikon F2, an old fellow. Let's jump into something other details. We need some tools, I guess. We need some, different tools. Some dentist tools is always good to have. You can probably buy them in secondhand store, or ask your dentist for buying some of those used. They're very good to many things. Some tweezers, different tweezers size and lengths is also very good. And we need a 1.2 millimeter screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. And we will probably need some. I will use 1.8 millimeter flathead and a 2 millimeter flathead, and probably also some homemade tools, which you can see here is from a wrench, which I have actually filed and grind. So there are 2 pins, one on each side here. That is very useful as a kind of a a lens tool, but it's also very good to take out retaining rings and so retaining knots also. This which is actually a 6.5 millimeter flathead screwdriver bit, which I also have filed and grind, so it can be used for some screws with the 2 pin, just like almost this old lens tool, compass. This is actually and a coin will we also use. It's good for open the battery chamber, and there's also for the opening grip, which I also need to take out. And the coin is very good. A bigger lens tool compass, which I also have grind and file, so it can work with cameras and lenses and so on. Some rubber tools, which I will use those from Japan Hobby Tool, which is really good to working with lenses and cameras. And maybe also a very sticky rubber from a copy machine, actually a multi-printer, laser printer, which is really sticky and flexible, can be used. Now, the first thing I need to do is, which I already have done part of it, is take off the leather. And for that one can use just a simple hair dryer. Doesn't really matter which brand, but it's it's very good to simply soften the leather here and simply pry off, so you can come to the screws underneath and both sides. So yeah, let's get on it. Let's get on. Just clear off my table here, and then we go ahead. So first thing first, the leather. And it can take some time, but you also, I will just speed up the process, as you can see here, just so. Before we can go any further, I need to take off the self-timer lever. And for that, my homemade tool is good for that, because it sits really good here. So I will not damage the screw head. I could also use this one, or a lens tool, as I will do it just like this and simply unscrew it. But I prefer to have the very short screwdriver here, because I have a kind of a better control of what I'm doing. So, and there is a screw here, nothing special, and the lever here is really dirty, doesn't really matter. And underneath there's a retaining ring, or retaining knot you would say, and for that I will use my old compass here and put it in, and then it should be, yeah, possible to unscrew. Somebody else has been into this camera before, so I am a little surprised of what will be inside. The retaining knot here comes off, and then the plastic ring here with the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 seconds comes off. It can only sit in one position, because there is a kind of a tip here, and it will go into the notch here. So, and then we can just continue with the leather here. And of course it will also take a few minutes to do that, so I will speed up the process here and simply use the hairdryer underneath here. Because the glue is really so old and dry. Okay, this end is simply end under here, so it shouldn't be a problem to lift up the rest of it. Don't know how this can come off because there isn't any screw up here. Now we can just let it sit, and yeah. So to get off the front, because I need to get off the off with the prism, and simply unscrew the front frame here, that sits with 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and then I can actually come into the 2 screws in the bottom here and 1 up here, and there should also be 2 underneath the light seal here, and there is also 1 there and there. So it should be possible to take out the whole front section, I mean the mirror house section, with a self timer. So let's see how it will go. Need a and then I can simply take off the front plate here. So it is. We do not need to take off the 2 screws here and here. No. And especially those 2. This one and this one. No, not in this case. It will separate the mirror house from the actual front plate, so we do not need that. But I will take off the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that hold the front plate. Yeah. And for that I will use a bigger screwdriver. It will be a 2mm screwdriver. This screw here is much longer than all the other screws that hold the front section. See? There. And there are 2 screws in here. Oh, come on, little fellow. It's good with a magnetized screwdriver in this case. Okay. One should put a good pressure on those screws, because they sit, I mean, they can sit tight. And there is 1 screw here. So there. And then the 2 on the back here under the light seal, which one can pry off up the foam here gently. See. So there. And the other one. Which we need. The foam is not so good anymore. It's a bit dry, so if I can get the camera back to work, which of course will be fine. If not, well, there will be some videos out of it. So now all the screws that hold the front and the mirror house is actually off. So in my opinion it should be, I don't know, but it should be possible to simply separate the 2 sections. I don't think there's any more screws. Yeah, it should be possible. Okay, I can see what the problem is. the foam here on the back is actually stuck to the, so one have to separate it like this with a sharp knife, and hopefully it can get off. Yeah, see here. There shouldn't be any more screws, not even under here. So where is my dentist tool here? Maybe a small screwdriver can actually lift it up. Yeah. So all the old glue is actually holding part of the camera. I mean part of the front. And then lift off the other side. So and maybe, I don't know yet, but maybe it's better to actually take off the self-timer section here. So I'll just do so. Yeah, it's possible to take out. Where did my tweezer went? So, and this is how the self-timer looks inside. This part here is actually the one that is connected to this part down here, which is again the shutter button, as you can see in here. When I press the shutter button, it will also move the parts in here. If the self-timer was working, I mean, if the camera was working, so when putting down the, activate the self-timer, it will, when the time is running out, it will simply push down the shutter button in here and activate the shutter if it works. But let's see sooner when I come into the camera. So if it's possible to actually separate the two parts, which should be really good. Because something is simply stuck in here. What if I do so, like this? I mean, activate the lock function here. It will let the shutter button come up to its normal position. So maybe it's possible to actually separate it. Something is simply stuck in here. Maybe this part here. So if I press here, can I? Oh yeah. Yeah, free it comes. So, and then there is some glue here in here, old glue. Now okay, this pin here was actually stuck to this part here, to this pin here, so it sits above, and then I couldn't get it off. Better take out the prism, I mean the focusing screen, put it somewhere where it's not will do anything. And they're really, oh wow, it's really stuck in here. It's the depth of field button that press on this part here, and again press on the aperture system in the lens. So it will see, it will work like this. But there's something get really stuck in here. Also this button here for the mirror up, I would guess it's mirror up function, but it looks like it's really stuck. So sit. Oh, there is a spring here. Wow. Where did that come from? I think we have a problem here with stuck parts. Yeah. It will say there it can activate the mirror up function. I mean, some parts working. Okay, the repair manual actually says don't separate the mirror house from the front plate. I would guess it's because of adjustment thingy issue, but I'll do it anyway because I can see I need to come into this mess in here somewhere. But before taking it apart, I will simply set some marks so I know where things should sit. It will say up here on the front section here, set a mark down here and over here, and there should also be some kind of so, and also over here, so I know where the position should be when it's correct. And also here and here on the side. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is just as I see it. I do not have the instrument and equipment for actually adjust this into correct position. It's why I set those marks here. So you have, when the marks are in line here and here, here and here, it should sit correct. So now I can simply unmount the mirror house from the front plate and say, okay, I will maybe find the what's actually wrong in here. So, and for that I will use a JIS screwdriver. It will say 2.5 millimeter JIS. Remember that. You can buy them on ifixit.com, and just to get things clear, I'm not promoted by any company. This is all what I buy. Tools is all on my own, from my own money. I'm not supported in that way from companies. So that's clear. So here you can see one screw there, and there's another screw here. So it should actually be possible to unmount the mirror house from the front, which I will do just like this. And it sits, looks like that. The mirror up function, which in some way doesn't really work as it should. I don't know why yet, but looks like something is really bent in here. No, it should be. Now you can actually see how it works, and it looks like it actually works as it should. So this lever here, this one here, when you push down the button, push in the button here, it will also push down on this part here, and again it will push down on this lever here. It will say so. But where did that bloody spring come from? Somewhere in the camera. So yeah, there's nothing really special about that. The lock to unmount the lens, we can also take a look at that. So if a lens gets stuck on the camera, it should actually be possible to unmount it. There is maybe a kind of adjustment screw. It looks like this one is adjustable. We can just see if it is possible to turn. No, it isn't. So now let's take a look at this mirror house. Here we can see on the other side, which will be the damper for the mirror. I looked at the internet and found out a guy, he actually put in a foam, some light foam, like sealing foam, put it under the spring here. So it will actually, the spring will not make that much noise, boing, as I said, when the mirror flips back to position. But it looks like something is really stuck. Hey, if I lift up this lever here, it should be possible to. So that's the mirror up function, part of it. So something is in a way working. It's just the see here, Yeah. Oh. It's simply the push button here. No, where did it go? On the front. On the front plate, which is the bottom here is actually not working as it should. Okay, I find out something. If one push in the, okay, it's possible to actually activate the mirror. Okay, I didn't know that, but one lesson learned. But it shouldn't be that hard to push in. But, well, so it is. So if we push in the bottom here and then turn it, it will move the mirror up function, and it will be locked down to the position here. Whoa. Okay, good thing to know. So it's actually working as I see it. But yeah, I will simply just put this back into the front plate, and let's see, this one should sit there. And okay, so this pin here actually is going into the part here, and no, this part here, and push down on it and make the mirror a function. So we just need to put the into position again. Oh, it will say it should be possible to just slide it in, and hopefully if I hold things in place it should actually work. Yeah. So that's actually fine. It will say something is actually working. So I will simply just put in the two screws that hold the mirror box into correct position with on the front plate. Should be another screw here. And it's good when I set those marked, because it'll just be much easier to put it correct in and tighten the screws. So things are actually working. Haha. As we can see here. So this this pin here, I don't know yet what's actually engaged here. It will probably be this part here. That's the shutter button, which is not really working very good because of the stock film advance mechanism. We can also down here see the slow gear. Which it looks like it's not really bad. And this pin here, should it sit correct? Yeah, I would guess so. It will push on the which I think it's the flash contact. You can see here. So that also seems to work proper. The only thing that is not really working good is the film advance. So I will simply think of taking off the top cover here. So hold on a second. Now to get off the see the nameplate here, I will, as I found out, set the exposure to 4/4 second, because then we will need a 1.2mm flathead screwdriver to unscrew the 3 screws around here. It will say one there, oh, one there, there, and from the front here. So, and just loosen them. There's no need for taking them out. So that's enough. And this one. And the last one. So there. Now we set it at 1/4 second and then take off the knob. And underneath, of course, I take a sneak peek in here. But that's only because of I would set a scratch here, a mark here, where the 1/4 second. So the exposure wheel is actually positioned correct. Because if I need to take it out, it could be, but I don't think it's necessary. I just know the position of the wheel here in line with the index mark. So the next thing is the advance top screw here. There's no holes or notches or so. So we simply need a rubber tool, which is really good for that. Simply press it in and turn it counterclockwise. It will say that way with this one. So now I have loosened, no, not yet. But now it's actually loose. So simply turn it and off it comes. And then there are 4 screws underneath. But before taking off anything, I will just set a mark in here. Well, you think, okay, all those marks, are they just a bit too much? No, because that's your reference point where things should sit. So I think I will set the mark over here, because it's the reference to the lever handle here, just so I know where it should sit. So as you can see here, hopefully there's a mark here. Now off with the the 4 screws here. those countersunk. And what's happened inside, I don't know, because I haven't been into this part here either. So now it's should come loose, and then we will just lift off the my tweezer here off with this plate. Nothing special. And then there is only the lever here. So also to just get things correct before taking it apart, I will also set a mark here. So the lever is in correct position with the film winder axle here on the top. So now I know where things should sit when they hopefully come back to life. There is a cover plate here. Underneath there should be 2 screws. If I look into the repair manual, that actually hold the backlit plastic handle here. So now the last thing, no, not the. There's also a retaining ring here around the film winder lever, which needs to come off. And there is 1 screw here on the top. And around the shutter button there is a retaining nut, which I have made a tool out of a wrench, which I have filed and grind. There are 2 small pins here, one there and one there, and it actually should fit in here, and hopefully with a grip just like this, put it on, and then I have a kind of a tool to unscrew it. I can see somebody else has been in here a long time ago, I guess, but with the right tool it shouldn't be that hard to actually unscrew. So that's it, and then should be possible, not yet, we need a few turns. Oh, it's really damaged, this camera. So now you can see it comes up, and so it is. It's a bit not really good, but still it works. And then it's possible to take up the push the shutter button and the lock function here for T, but there is also a spring in here, which we will see in a short time. There are actually more parts. Spring is here, so, and yeah, as you remember, I noticed that the mark here should sit where the T is. So if I put it on again, it should be correct. I don't think it's possible to put it wrong in. No, it isn't. So it's correct. You can see the notches here on the back, which will also be in to position here. If I can get it to work correct. Okay. There is another part in here, which will be this one. This ring. So let's put them away and continue to see what's inside. Now this screw is the last screw for the top cover. And interesting what's inside. Oh, for that. Put it somewhere where you can find it. Now the retaining ring here, let's hold the top plate on the camera. So I will use my compass here and simply hopefully unscrew it without any problems. So and have a good grip. Yeah, and it can be loosened. Oh, okay. I was thinking about making a tool for this, but maybe I will later. So that's the retaining ring. And now it should be possible to lift off the top plate here. And look what's inside. Da, 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 da. So okay, the small window for the counter, which you can see it has to sit under here. So better put it in here, and so I know where it is. Now we have the counter. Is it possible to actually move anything? Well, it is. So I would guess, without knowing it, that there's some loose parts in here. So I guess there are some broken parts. Now, okay, yeah. I would think, without knowing it, I would think, I mean, we have to take all the counter section here, which will be this screw, this screw here on the to the very right, and the back here, one there, and there should also be one here, as I see it. So let's get them off. Just before taking anything apart, I will just set a mark here. And I will also set a mark here. So that should be fine. And what about the strap camera? Yeah, it should be not. Can be screwed in? No, it should just sit there. Okay. It just pop out. Okay. Now you can just take out that eye. It looks like it's really broken. Well, let's see. Okay, off it comes. The screw is simply broken. Well, that's good to know. Maybe it's the same with the other one. I would guess so, because when I took off the bottom plate here, 2 screws fell out. And the one screw looks like the other here for the camera strap. So I will guess it's the same problem. But the other screw, I don't know yet. But let's get the counter section off. So off that screw here. And the one in the corner here. And they are not the same, so we have to position them correct. One here on the back. And the last one, which is a special one, there is a spring attached to it in here. So I would probably guess that I need to actually unmount that screw. It will say this one here, if it's possible to do so. And so this spring is actually loose. So I will just let it stay as it is there, and unscrew this screw here. Now we can see the okay, something happened. It's interesting what actually will happen when I come deeper into the camera or the winder section. So off with this part here. I think we'll just put the spring here in position again, so I know where it is. Now, is it possible to just take this out? Yeah, it is. Yeah. It looks like there are really damaged things in here. You see the dent, those dents over here, those teeth here, is actually not good. And this part is really broken. I mean, really. It's simply broke off here. Where did it come off? Maybe we can see it here underneath. Yeah. It's actually broken here. So it should sit like that if it was correct. But since it's broken, well, there's not really much to do about it. That's really a shame. But of course it gives us the opportunity to look closer into it. There is some foam here which are not good. It has really had a hard work. So let's see here. You can also see the dent there and there, and the two here is simply damaged. So it's not really working. That's a shame. But what if I open the back here and try to manipulate the winding gear? Is it possible? Well, it should be the shutter button. Or not. No. The shutter button is actually, this long pin here is the shutter button, and it goes through a hole here. You can see it down here, and we can see it here. It will push against the, if I use my tiny screwdriver here, you can see it will push on the mechanism down here that connects to the bottom section. But it's completely damaged. Well, that explained actually what's happened. It looks like there are more damaged part here. Down here, this is simply just not good. It's not really possible to actually turn anything. No. So I would actually say it's really not good. So I think I will go, I can just continue with the camera, so there will be a second part which I will take out the just to show how things looks inside, and take out the slow gear and see if it works proper, and look under the bottom plate to see how things looks actually. So that is all from first part. There will be a second part, so see you.